And I have had them come to me and say that they wish they had voted yes instead of voting no. So it's kind of like to me it's unfamiliar environment right now. Because everybody just patiently waiting for this big promise that the company's gonna give to them. But already people have already like regretted the decision they made.
What did people tell you when they said they regret the decision?
They they didn't actually give a reason why, but like I had one guy, he told me like, man, I should have voted yes for the union. But and I asked him, I was like, well, why come you didn't? And like it's the same comment. People scared they want to lose their job, strikes, layoff, everything the company was feeding them. You got to understand, like this company ran like $1 million campaign against us. So every day it was videos, they passing out this literature talking about the UAW only want your money, saying all this bad stuff, then all the ads and stuff on TV and a radio station. It was so overwhelming.
What kind of things specifically would they say?
Like if you go on strike, you don't get paid. You don't get unemployed. It was something like it. They just do so much. Like it was just, and like I said, me working at a union job before, seeing it, I was like, it's not even right. That false information.
But what about people that don't? We got a driver the other day. We asked him about unions, and he said he knew nothing about it. Is that common?
Yeah, it is because like you're in the South. Especially in Mississippi, there's not many union places around here. True enough, you got the post office, you got UPS, you got a lot of small companies with unions, and there's a seamlessship that's actually with the UAW. So people are not really that knowledgeable over the unions. Like they don't know, it's not too familiar with them. You see what I'm saying? So, but that's why like a lot of the people like inside the plant that was indecisive and on the fence about it, they really didn't know too much of it. You just had Nissan that was actually throwing all this information and literature and all this other stuff that was actually totally against it. Then you're driving around, you're leaving work, you're seeing these vote no signs everywhere you go. Not just in Canton, but you see them in Jackson, Ridgeland. I seen them in Clinton where I stayed. They were just everywhere. So, and I mean, for somebody who's unfamiliar with it and, if they don't do their own research, they're pretty much like gonna go for the first thing they see. Especially a lot of peer pressure and stuff like that. So, but I'm gonna tell you something. I really think that some of the people that regretted their decision, they actually afterwards they saw how big it was because like Saturday morning it hit like national news. It was everywhere. That how the Nissan workers rejected the union. So
losing was a risk that people knew might happen. But you guys have a long-term strategy. What's the long-term organizing strategy? How do you build strength from this defeat?
Actually, man, to be honest with you, we're going to have to keep doing what we're doing. And that's like giving out information. People who don't really know, just like, explain to them, how it really works. Because people still don't know. They just know that Nissan says no. And just got to keep giving them literature, meetings. Just basically like just keep feeding them, giving them knowledge, until that time come around again. And then, we'll try again or whatever. And like me, I think we have way more support this time because like I said, it's only been day 2 and people already regretting the decision they made. So
yeah, we're not even in a couple months.
Right, we're not even a couple months down the road. It's already day 2.
Does having the UAW active in the plant help people in terms of winning some protections for temps and holding the company accountable sometimes?
To me, well, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I can already see how if you just wearing the shirt, the UAW shirt, or just a union shirt, to me, that's protection. Because I haven't seen too many times where the company has harassing, these people or whatever, that's wearing like me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never been harassed. The managers, nobody never picked on me. Actually, the managers told me they respect my decision. Yeah. I think if you're in compliance, of course, then you're okay or whatever. So, but my thing was to explain it to somebody. I said that because they asked me, they said like, well, have they ever bothered you? With you wearing your union shirt like that? I'm like, no. they haven't. And, you know, and I was like, I said, you got to understand something. I was like, if you see that they're not bothering me now, you know, just, and this is without a contract, just imagine if we did have the UAW in here, you know, imagine with the type of protection we actually have, you know, because I mean, like right now, you know, there is no protection, you know, but with the union involved, you have way more protection than what you get.
How was the Pathways program created? Was that a result of the protest?
And I think that pathway, it came before that, if I'm not mistaken. Well, they've been fighting this union battle for like, I think about like 12 years or whatever. But the pathway, it came in, I want to say, it may have came in like 5 or 6, 7 years ago. I'm not sure. But it's what they call like the new, I call it permatemp. You know, you start off with contracting, you know, temp with service with Kelly Services. Then, you know, once the time come up where you're eligible to be, you know, what they call crossing over to like a pathway program, which is really the new Nissan permanent position. Like, you know, you don't get the equal pay as and top out as you would with what they call legacy workers who've been there for since the plant opened. But like this pretty much it. You know, like I think you get like a $2 difference or something like that, but you don't get the equal benefits and stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
So it's one of the reasons why I wanted that contract. You know, equal pay and equal opportunity.
What kind of research do people do? I mean, what do they read when they research?
Me, okay, like this is what I normally do. You know, like I look at these other companies, GM, Ford, and Chrysler, you know, and I look at their contracts, you know, because of the organizers who were, you know, down here from the UAW who was helping us. Like you had people in the plant who was anti, who were saying that, oh, those people are on strike. Well, that's common sense. If they're on strike, why are they way down here in Mississippi and not in Detroit? You know, so like that's when I found out like how that contract works. Like I talked to some of the organizers and I actually print up the contracts online, you know, and actually see like they're basically what they call their handbook, you know, so and I'm just looking at it, I'm like, it sounds pretty good. You know, I wish we had it like that. You know, in my experience, like I said, you know, I'm experienced with the unions because, like I said, I worked at jobs that had them. So I pretty much knew how it worked or whatever. But when I go and I talk to my fellow coworkers and I tell them, I'm like, okay, well, GM, you know, they have this and they have this and that, and this is in their contract. And I show them how it works, you know. And like one of the biggest things people looked at was the fact that GM, they got a bonus for $12,000 profit sharing. We don't even get profit sharing. You know, the other companies, I mean, the other Nissan companies outside of the U.S. are unionized, they get profit sharing, but we don't. You know, and our bonuses was like a fourth of that, what GM gets. So.
Like how many weeks pay is the bonus typically?
Was it out?
How many weeks pay is the bonus typically?
It's really just 1 week. Like it's, like they normally pay it out, I'm gonna say like around the second week of June or something like that. And if I'm not mistaken, I think GM gets theirs a little bit earlier or whatever. But see, the thing about it is, it's funny because it's when the big three, GM, Ford, and Chrysler, once the profit sharing is announced, like they put it everywhere. Like it's in headlines of the paper and everything like that. You ain't gonna hear that about Nissan. So, and I mean, and the thing about it is like, you know, is if you look at like the numbers of what we did like in the previous years and stuff like that, like it's gaining profit every year. You know, but that was one of the biggest things where like a lot of pro-union people wanted was like, you know, actual profit sharing. So.
What's it feel like to be one of the 1,300 people that did vote for the union? Because I mean, that's still a lot of people. That's still progress by any. I mean, that's a huge group of people.
It really is, and to me, I look at it as if we had that, then I know next time it'd be way much bigger. Because I mean, true enough, they won by 63%, but to me, that's really not a big number. You know, because you needed 51% to win. I mean, this, you know, I mean 2-1, but it's like immediately after that, people who were pro-union, they like hit my inbox, call me, And they said, look, next time I'm gonna go to all the meetings, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna do this and that because I'm ready. So I already know, like, if they're online right now, then this person alone may have like 5, 6, 7 supporters behind us. Because people are calling me every day, like, what's the next move and what do I need to do to get this thing going? It really didn't do anything but just ignite a fire in us, And the people who were pro-union and wasn't like not speaking out as much, which is okay. Now they're like, no, forget this. We're gonna do this, So because everybody see the type of campaign that we ran. I know for myself, I made the right decision, and I don't regret it like damn time, But everybody, a lot of the people that voted no, they already regretting it. But for me, I mean, like out of 1,300, I tried to make that difference, So if anything happens, well, if the company does do anything that a lot of people are not going to like, I'm going to be like, well, I was one of those people that try to make the difference out of it. So.
How do the young people respond now?
They've been pretty vocal about it. Like the pro-union, the young ones, like they were like, they said every cuss word in the book. Like once I pretty much like just text them like, what's the count looking like? We win or lose, and I'm like, oh boy, say I'm gonna hate to do this. Tap tap tap, send, and you can imagine what they said. Like they was pretty pissed off about it, and even when I got to work, like they weren't like so mad that where they just it interfered with their production or anything like that, but they was like just upset, like they just ready to let's do this again or whatever, So, and that was the one that was pro. Now the ones who didn't like, who voted no, or I don't know what they voted, like they kind of silent on it. But I really think, and I may be wrong, that everybody who didn't vote yes, who basically voted no, they feel some type of way about their vote because their place is just too quiet. Now I've seen a couple of them that are happy, but it ain't been many. It's not been many. But it's like I've been seeing like a lot of regrets on people's faces, like because people asking me like, okay, what's gonna happen now, and like what's the company gonna do? And first thing I say is like, well, I don't know. I mean, they're the ones said that they were gonna change, not me. I said I was gonna vote yes because I wanted the contract. That's the change I wanted.
It's kind of like they went to the workers, asked them out under the bleachers, and it was a one-night stand.
Yeah, and I mean it's exactly like it's like now that the workers looking for that long-term commitment, but
Nissan's not giving it.
Right, I don't see it. I do not see it. I mean, like I said, they probably got some breadcrumbs that like once people start making noise and stuff like that, they probably drop it. They give you a $2 raise or something, or a slightly bigger bonus. I don't know, but I don't see it. It's still not what we want. The people who feel the same way I do. It's not the same thing. Yeah. We want a union, point blank. We don't care how much money you give us, because it's more about money. We had like a whole lot of issues and we want to discuss at that negotiating table. So, and until we get that, I mean, we always gonna fight. That's how I look at it.
If people are organizing elsewhere in tough situations, what would you want them to know?
Whew, be in for a fight of your life. Like, seriously, like, I mean, I don't know how bad it is everywhere else, but I know, like, right where I'm at, Mississippi, is extremely, extremely tough, because you have to deal with not only Nissan, well, I'm just say the company that you're fighting against, but you're going to deal with a whole, I hate to say this, but I'm being truthful, you're going to deal with a whole lot of racism. A lot, So, I mean, like, that's a big issue.
How's the racism directed? How does it divide people? What effect does it have on people that are black, that are thinking about voting against the union, that kind of racism?
See, that I don't even know, because it's like, to me, like, okay, when I hear all these, and I heard on the radio station where a guy called in saying that if we bring the union in, like, basically we're going to go back to picking cotton and digging ditches and all that stuff. And to me, it's like, okay, if I'm black or whatever, and this guy is saying this, I don't see how I can like agree with what he's saying. Because if somebody's racist, like there's nothing that we agree on. Especially if you're saying that going back to picking cotton. Like that should be like an automatic blinker in your head or whatever. That part I don't understand, like, why they did it. I don't know. Maybe they probably blocked it out, but I can't do that. Like it's been really crazy. Like we don't have like even pro supporters. They got this little image like in their inbox from this fake page or whatever, where somebody sent them, I think it was like keep it Confederate with the Confederate flag, vote no and
yeah,
stuff like this. It's been crazy. And I'm like, and we brought that to the attention, to let them know, like, hey, look, this is what a lot of these people are saying, and I'm like, so I mean, like to me, if you vote no against that, to me, like in my eyes, you supporting that, and that's not right.
Yeah.
So.
What was the campaign like from the business community? I mean, all the yard signs. I mean, what was that pressure like when you're watching TV and all this?
Man, I got sick of it. Like I mean, I didn't even watch TV because of those campaigns. It's like, I mean, just driving down and seeing all these signs, it made me mad because it's like they spent all this millions of dollars. Well, I don't know how much it cost, but I'm just gonna say it was a lot of money because running the ad is high. So they could have used that money toward like fixing every issue in their plant. Because that's what this union thing is about. Like it's using money in the wrong way. We got tools in there that don't work, AC and stuff like that. You could have used that money to improve the plant, and you didn't. Instead, you just went ahead and just put all these signs up and down the highway. I mean, it was it was ridiculous. That should have been a sign then because, I mean, it said August 3rd and 4th, vote no. It just vote no. That's all you saw. T-shirts, radio, interviews, and
they wanted to create, because I found this interesting in that obviously there was a lot of community support for what you guys did. A lot. But the billboards and the radios and all that created the illusion that there wasn't.
Yeah, it was. And like, I mean, it's kind of like, to me, like, you going to war with a millionaire pretty much. Like they threw the money out, and they just said, look, flood the streets with this and that, the TV, radio stations or whatever. We get help from the community, which I'm thankful for that, which they are still helping us fight this fight, because like I said, it's not over. And I mean, but to me, it's like at the end of the day, the people on the outside, they're not voting for us, it's the workers. Yeah. So if we seeing all this on the outside, imagine what we seeing on the inside. I mean, like I said earlier, we seen these vote no T-shirts. I mean, it was crazy. Like we couldn't even like eat our lunch. Looking at the TV screen, they had messages on there, saying that the UAW wants your money. It's just all types of crazy stuff. Talking about strikes, talking about, layoff, talking about the UAW can't guarantee you anything. It was crazy, man. To me, like I didn't like the way they handled that campaign because they say they're doing all this, then they turn around and say, your decision is, you can vote however you want to. It's a secret ballot. You didn't say that at first. You just kept saying vote no. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy, man. It's crazy. It wasn't fair. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I don't think it was fair at all. Like the campaign wasn't fair. Like I knew right then when they filed and we got the video of the director saying that he was disappointed in us and he was, going to, give out the information and all this to help us make our decision and everything like that. And he even said that he don't think that the UAW is like in the best interest at Nissan. Even the governor said that.
Like I always think that part of the reason people vote no is that they want the whole conflict to go away. They get so inundated and they just say, just make it go away, just make it go away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because like I have heard people say that I'll be glad when all this is over with, and because they're tired with it. It was really frustrating to me. It was overbearing that Like, if I was in their shoes, I probably would say the same thing, you know, but I mean, because it was like every single day. Like, it's like let me see how I can describe it. It's like a song you can't get out your head. Yeah. You know, that's what it was like, you know, and I mean, we going from seeing the video, we just came from a shift meeting. Then, like, you know, once they get through with that or whatever, you're seeing the vote no shirts that management wears and HR reps, anybody, engineers, everybody was wearing. Then you come downstairs, and before you get home, your supervisor manager coming up to you, passing out you some more stuff. I'm talking about, it was just crazy. It was just overbearing.
Yeah.
Ridiculous to me, you know, but, and I don't know. I pretty much said it all, I think.